Okay. Okay, now we are recording. What is this, Lisette? I'm just presenting step by step how to create the project plan that we need to present on the class number 8. That project is supposed to be created based on a couple of documents that I gave you. So last Friday, I show you how to create the version number 1 using the prompt, right? Using the example that I gave you in PowerPoint, and also using the guide, project plan guide. So I gave you 3 documents. You need those 3 inputs in order to create the ugly version of the presentation. So I'm expecting that you, before going to Gamma, you already polish and review and change whatever you want and complete the information and compare with the guide. So remember that I will be evaluating your presentation based on the guide that I gave you, on the criteria, the evaluation criteria that I gave you. George, you remember that I told you this morning to read that very carefully, so you can move forward to the step number 2. All right. So step number 2, now we are Gamma. Let me click on import. Let me click on plain import. And let me go to upload a file. Boom. Now I'm going to Coconut Ice Cream Project Plan 1. I'm going to select the ugly version, the plain, the one that is just black and white. And I'm going to click to open. And now it's loading. You see, so the first version that you will see is like this. It's like absolutely ugly. So that is Gamma. That it's now you can click here. One by one, card here. I'm recording thing. So the first page, I want it like this, plain card color, not right now. Number 2. Let me go to number 2. So you see these icons here, you have different options. New, copy, merge, you don't want those. However, in this one, the card style, you can put like this, boom. Now we are going to create something more beautiful. Now I'm going to put another boom like this. Now the number 3, the same thing. So you go one by one. Remember that in the left side of the screen, it's like PowerPoint here. So you have the options of the style of the slide. The name that they use in Gamma, it's card color. Boom. Number 4. Remember that if you have a free trial, you don't have, I think no more than 15 pages. Okay, this one is the same. Let me put it another way. Okay, so in this one more time, let me put another style like this. So you do this one by one. You see the maximum amount of pages if you have the free trial is 15. So you do the same one by one. And now you can go back here, for example, and put AI. I use AI because it's for free. So you can put here, try new layout. So now on the right side of the screen, they're supposed to give you a couple of ideas and colors and charts. And it's going to give you more options. I love it. Miren el helado, qué lindo. I love it. Mirenlo ahí. So pretty. That is the page number 1. That is the title. So one by one, you can fix it and put it beautiful. That is your option. So I'm not going to take the time right now to go one by one. That is your work. What I'm going to share with you is the final version that I created using Gamma. So I'm going to minimize Gamma. I'm going to stop sharing right now because that is you do it by yourself. Any question, let me know. And remember, ChatGPT, she knows she's your best friend. It's ask everything to ChatGPT. How can I do this in Gamma? How can I do that? All right, so now I'm going to share with you this one not. So now I'm going. Okay. Okay, I'm going to. Creía que la tenía abierta, estoy vos. Okay, that was it. It's this one. It's miren qué linda. Look at this. Look at this beautiful thing. Déjame ver, let me check this one. No. This one, give me 1 second because I have like 5 different versions, so I want to confuse you. No te quiero confundir. I don't want to confuse you. I'm going to close everything. I'm closing every single window that I have open in my computer. So now I'm going to open the final version of second coming up. You can do the same. Just go to Gamma and take this time to do this so you can move forward with your projects. George, with the version that you got this morning, you can work on that in Gamma now. So weekly presentations, project plan. Okay. Okay, this is the one that I was looking for because I have a lot of different stuff open, different PowerPoints. All right, this is one of the version because I have like 5. Can you guys see it like a verdecito, like a green, like pastel green, beautiful picture? Can you guys see it? Anyway.
Yes.
So this is one version. Every single time that you create something in Gamma, even though if you are uploading the same PowerPoint, the inputs, you're gonna get different options because that is artificial intelligence. They are giving you a lot of recommendations. You can click here, blue, green, this type of font, this color. So those are some of the examples. This is one. Problem statement, project description, project objectives, stakeholders list, work breakdown structure. No me gustó mucho esa because it's very plain. I was expecting something like another picture, but we can fix it. You can fix it if you want to. Coconut Bliss, this is the store. This is the 5W plus 1H. You see? Something like this is not acceptable. In la clase, I cannot accept this is too small. Esto está muy chiquito, so nobody can read it. So this is, you need to check that. Just in case you get something like this. Okay, listen, how can I fix it? No, this is edit. It is editable. You can edit it. Just click like this, como un PowerPoint, like boom. I'm going to edit right now. So the only thing you need to do is like this, put it another, like enlarge, do whatever you want here, boom, like put it in another size. Manually, you can do that, absolutely. So let me make sure I can do that right now. No, see, yes. Okay, you see, you can just change the size of the font, the color, do whatever you want. So having said that, Gamma is very flexible and you can just do, I know I don't like that one, boom, I don't like that style. Let me just create another style. All right, this is one option that this is using Gamma. Okay, ChatGPT and then Gamma. Okay, that is one idea. Any question? It's that clear. It's just you need to try and spend time. It's not like 2 minutes. So when you create the first version, it's boom. But at the end of the day, you need to review it one more time. Is that clear? I want you to put number 2 on the chat. Let's say, okay, we can do it. We can try this week. Okay. Thank you. I feel much better now. All right. Let me just, now I'm going to jump into the class because that was just the practice for the final project. Now we are going to cover risk management. We need to finish that topic that we introduced last week. So let me just stop sharing and minimize the example. Okay. So remember that each one of you guys, you have a different theme, animals, film, short film, room makeover. So you're gonna get a lot of different beautiful pictures to use for your projects. So this is the ice cream, of course. So for you guys, you're gonna have a lot of options to put on your beautiful pictures, images. You can search on Gamma. You have the option to search on web pictures. So you will see a lot of different beautiful ideas to create your own project. All right, we are ready to start with risk management. I'm going to share my screen one more time. And let me ask any volunteer if you can see, I'm sharing my screen. The first page was the icebreaker, and now I'm sharing with you risk management. Anyone, can you guys see risk management in this part?
Yes.
Okay, so now I want you to drink water, relax, and pay attention because this is part of the exam. I remember that last week I asked you, what is risk for you? So you guys gave me a couple of ideas, and I agree with you. Danger, something negative. It's undesired, something like this. It's a problem. It's something that like it's uncertain, something that you don't know if that is going to happen. It's an event. So for the exam, I told you that by definition, risk by definition is a unexpected or uncertain event, right? It's an uncertain event. But the weird thing, something that is not, to me, is not normal, is that for the PMI Global Standard, they said that we can have positive risks and negative risks. That is absolutely a PMI Global Standard traditional mindset. However, for agility, agile mindset is that every single risk is negative. It's not good. So this is just to clarify. So risk management, today we're going to speak about procurement and stakeholders. But first we need to finish risk management. We have 30 minutes for that. Just to provide an overview, we have a lot of processes in risk management. I'm not going to read the processes one more time, just the names, because I'm going to jump directly to identify risks. So we have planning risks, identifying the list of events, then analyze the risks. I'm going to skip this one. This is just for complex projects. Now that I have the list of risks, I need to identify the 3 factors of a risk, which is the event, the probability, and the impact. That is all about analyzing qualitative analysis. That is the name of this process. So now that I have my list of risks, I need to create like a rank, como rankear, like a register and organize the risks in terms of priority, like prioritize. Risk register, boom, risk register. Now, organize. Now that I have my beautiful register organized and in every single documentation inside of that document, I can plan responses. So we're gonna see today the list of already created, that is not us, PMI created the strategy, so you don't need to reinvent the wheel to respond to the risk events. So you're gonna see 2 types of risk, positive and negative, and what to do if those type of events happen into your project at any time. Then last but not least, I'm going to implement, of course, the responses and monitoring. I'm going to skip those definitions because I want to jump into this page. This is for the exam. When you see something in yellow, it's because you need to pay attention for the CAPM exam. The PMI establishes that to be successful, an organization should be committed to addressing the risk management proactively and consistently throughout the project. What has Dallas said? Meaning that, okay, listen, we're going to do this conversation today, this meeting, to identify the risks of my project. So we have this meeting, and we get this list of possible events. It doesn't mean that you need to stop there. You need to continuously, proactively, and and consistently and frequently to review the list of risks, because they can be more than that, or just some of those are not relevant anymore. So you need to update the list constantly. That is PMI standard for the exam in yellow. Consistently, proactively, throughout the project life cycle. So when you see the process planning, it's a process of defining how we're going to handle the rest of the processes in risk management. So that is the definition of planning. So having said that one more time, look at this. Why are you putting this one more time? Because this is a question for the exam and the quiz that we're going to have right now, a couple of minutes. So I want you to pay attention and be with me. You need to proactively and consistently throughout the project handle address the risk all the time. So having said that, as you can see, let me just copy and paste the link so you can have it on your records. And also read the question and take your time and put the answer on the chat. So let me copy and paste. I'm going to ask Miss Pamela. Miss Pamela, can you let me know if the link is working? Or anyone, any volunteer?
To read?
Anyone, can you guys let me know if you can see the link that I posted on the chat? If that link it's working, let me know, because I want you to keep those links for you to study for the exam.
Are
So
these
yes,
links are these links in the classroom or no?
that is what I was explaining today. That
Yes.
to consolidate all the links in one place, so you don't need to open all the PowerPoints to access those practice exams. Yes, did I answer your question, Miss Jules?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Miss Pamela said no. It's not opening. Let me try again. Let me try one more time. Miss Pamela, because sometimes something is weird with Google Form. Let me copy the link one more time and let me paste into the, okay, can you guys try now? And let me know if it's not working. No, I said this is not working at all. Actually. Let me know, guys. Okay, thank you, Miss Pamela. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want you to respond the quiz. Remember A, B, C, D, but just A, B, or C, or D on Zoom chat. I'm not expecting perfection. Remember that. Anyone, can you put A, B, C, or D? I don't see any responses yet. Oh, Miss Tina, you put D, when allowed to open. Oh, Miss Tina, B. B is, yeah, absolutely, yes. Thank you, thank you. Anyone else? Use Miss Tina. George D. Miss Larissa T. And you're not with me today. Only Miss Tina, I think. Remember that I put 2 times in yellow this statement from PMI. That's okay, no problem. I don't want you to feel bad for this. But I told you that you need to be proactively and consistently throughout the project. And I put that statement twice, 1 and 2. And then, are you here? So to be successful, organization should be committed to addressing risk management. Boom. B, proactively and consistently throughout the project, meaning that it's no one-time event. Okay, I did it. We have this conversation and we put the list in black and white and we forget. No, you need to constantly review the list. All right, let me continue. Identifying risks. I'm going to ask Ms. Jules if you can help me reading this page. Ms. Jules.
Yes. Okay. Identify risks. Is the process of determining which risks may affect the project and documenting their characteristics. Risk identification is not a one-time event. It must be continued on a regular basis throughout the project life cycle.
Thank you very much. So as you can see, it's not a one-time event. So constantly we need to review the possibilities. What can happen this week? We can have this project this week. We have this event. We don't know. Maybe something new. We can have different ideas. So it's not one time. This is the list of risks. No, you need to review one more time. All right. Those are the questions. Something that I would like to clarify here. Risk management is not about you, only you. I'm the project manager. I'm doing the list of risks. No, it's not only you, baby. You need a team. You need experts. You need the cross-functional teams. You need people with different cultures and ideas and expertise. So that's why you need to ask a lot of questions and create a lot of meetings and conversations. So that's why you need leadership skills. Leadership, it's about communicating properly and on time. Some of the questions that the PMIT it's recommending, this is not me, this is the Bible. I'm taking all my classes from the Bible. Some of the questions that you can ask, it's, for example, hello, Mr. Peter, can you see any challenges on this specific deliverable that you are working on right now in marketing? So you don't know, you are not an expert in marketing. Mr. Peter, he is the expert in marketing. So the same way you can ask another expert from IT about IT possible events. So never, you're not by yourself. You're doing this in a team, and it's a teamwork. All right. How do the system work? That is another question. Those are recommendations. Talk me through the process. That's another question. What's changed? What changes are happening? How often does that happen? So what is that? Let's say those are popular questions that you need to make to your teams, cross-functional and stakeholders, investors, customers. What number 7 here? What makes your job hard? Okay, let me see what else. Can you give me some examples? That is another question. Number 8. Would you mind talking me through an example? This is the same. It's also the same. 9. Can you show me? Like, I want to see. Number 10. How many times has that happened so far this year? I love that. Then what? What did you do? 12. What do you do if this XYZ happens? That is 13. What does that say? Those are tools and techniques. Tools to identify risks through interviews. So at the end of this process that Ms. Jules was reading the definition, and I was explaining a tool, now at the end of the process, we are creating the document that I told you. What is that? Is the risk register. So remember that a risk register is one of the most important artifacts. Artifacts, remember artifacts? Artifacts in project management, the risk register. Okay, something happened to me. I was working at Cisco and Doral office, and someone called me. Hey, Miss Lisa, how are you? Hey, listen, I'm working for this company for health hospital from healthcare industry at Fort Lauderdale. And we saw your resume on LinkedIn. I didn't know I posted my resume on LinkedIn, and they was asking, could you please, we have a very, very good job opportunity, open position. And I would like to know if you're capable to create and control and implement a risk system in my organization. I said, yes, absolutely. He said, oh my goodness, that is the most difficult skills in the industry, because the majority of my candidates, they said that they're scared about risk. So telling you that, remember that when you are having an interview for a job, you need to understand the 3 R's of the business. This is not PMP, this conversation right now. This is in parentheses. The 3 R's of the business are the revenues increase. Pay attention to this because this is personal, un consejo, un advisor, personal advisor. You need to know the 3 R's of the business. So the 3 R's of the business is the universal language to speak in businesses. So number 1, it's revenues. They're looking for someone like you, that can help them to increase revenues. So you need to articulate, if you get me, if I get this job, I'm going to help you to increase revenues. How? With my skills and abilities and personality and leadership. Don't say whatever you want, but you need to understand your value in terms of the 3 R's. Believe me, these tips that I'm giving you right now, it could be the difference with your next interview. And language is everything, right? When you're interviewing someone, it's about speaking, communication. So I remember that I was interviewing like 20 people at Cisco, and I was waiting for this type of attitude or behavior or knowledge. Okay, so the 3 R's of the business. Number 1, revenues. Revenues increase. Number 2, reduce cost. That's the number 2 R. And the number 3, risk. Is the number 3, risk reduction. This is just a parenthesis that I'm taking the time to explain that to you because based on my experience, you need to make sure before any interview on any open position that you know that they are looking for the 3 R's. Every single company, organization, institution, they're looking for the 3 R's. Just a comment. You can write it down, the 3 R's of the business. So that's why risk management is so relevant. The concept, the philosophy. All right. I want to know if that comment was useful for you guys for the future. Did you think that that was a really important comment that I just made? Anyone? Just put number 2. Okay, let's say yes, that's something that it could help me in the future to get a good job. Yes, absolutely. Yes, this is the type of things that you don't see in any book, on any book at all. Esto no está en ningún libro. It's just based on my experience as a professional. All right. So risk register is the output of the process number 2. If you can see here, this is just a list of events. For now, we are going to call B, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. Boom, that's it. What is that? The list of risks. The name of this document is the risk register. That is very straightforward. Nothing at all, not tricky at all. This is a list of identified risks, potential risk owners, list of potential risk responses. That's it. So now that I have the list of risks here, my risk register, now I need to analyze each one of those events based on the 3 factors that I gave you last week. I think I told you that every single risk event, you need to identify the 3 factors. Number 1, the event, description of the event. Number 2, the probability. Pay attention because this makes sense. You'll see. I'm taking you to a place right now. Event, probability. And number 3, impact. Impact or amount at stake. It's the same. So for each one of the events that we identified in the process number 2, now I need to analyze each one of those. Is the process of prioritizing the risks for further analysis or action by just combining the probability and the impact. In this process, Lisa, but I don't know how to do that. Thank you. Thank you for that comment because you're not supposed to do that. This is a team effort. So each one of your experts, they need to do this exercise and you will be facilitating the exercise. So for each one of those events, they're going to say, okay, listen, from 0 to 1, the probability, it's 0.5. All right. You see, it's like subjective. It's the opinion based on the experts. It's not you, Miss Jules. It's not you, Miss Larissa. It's not you, Miss Pamela. It's you and your team. You are creating the environment that they are going to assign 0 and 1, subjective values on a scale of 0 and 1, or values of low, medium, or high. What is that, Lisette? This is the qualitative risk analysis. So this is very cheap, take less time, that is less expensive than quantitative risk analysis. This one we're not going to cover in this class. This is complicated for a very complex project. All right. So this is the exercise. You and your team in a room, everybody. Okay, are you guys ready? Yes. Okay, Peter, you are the expert in this type of event from marketing. You are, Miss Mary, you are the expert in legal. You are a lawyer, so let me know the probability and impact of this one. Okay, Miss Susana, you are the expert doing creating software from IT. Just let me know about this risk, G. So one by one, you're going to say, okay, impact, it's of A, it's the impact is very low. A B, impact, it's high, but on A, it's the impact, it's low, and the probability is low. So you are going to organize based on the values that the team are going to provide. So it's not you, it's the team. So you organize one by one based on the input from your team and experts. So you are going to organize the risks like this. And this 2 quadrants. This is the impact from 0 to 1. Mr. Peter, from 0 to 1, this is the probability. So in this way, now you can classify the risks right now, like this. So you can finish the meeting. Okay, you said you put it that. Now you can move forward as a project manager and reorganize the list based on lows, medium, and highs. High priority, medium priority, low priority. So these guys here, A and F, very low probability, very low impact. This is maybe not relevant. Medium, okay. C, E, H, and V, okay, medium. Maybe I can pay attention to this. However, G and D, oh my goodness, those are the most important risks events in my project. So now that I know this type of values, now I can reorganize the list. And I can prioritize the list. So now A and F, A and F, they're going to this below H. And G and D will be here, like G and D. So now you can reorganize the list. That's very straightforward. Not tricky at all. It's just classifying and prioritizing the risks. What is this, Lisa? This is a qualitative risk analysis. So at the end of this process, you will have something like this. So now that you have the impact and the probability, these numbers are from here. 0.9, 0.2 is from these values here. Boom, boom, boom. Just track the numbers and put it in a list. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, the impact, probability, and now you can multiply impact by probability, and you're gonna get this risk score. So what is the name of this matrix? This is a tool. The name is data representation or data representation. And the name of this matrix, it's probability and impact matrix. Probability and impact. Boom. We're talking about of process number 3, which is perform qualitative risk analysis. All right, now that you can calculate one by one, you can get this list of score or numbers. 18, 81, 28, 48, 24. So let me know. I want you to observe. Check this list, and I'm going to ask you. You can open your microphone or you can tell me. Just you can put it on the chat. If I need to organize or prioritize this list of risks, which one will be here, the first one? Anyone? First will be based on the risk score. Take your time and let me know. Which will be the
Risk
big-
D.
What was that again, Miss Pamela?
Risk D.
Yes, 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 yes. Risk D, it's 81.81. So D will be the number one here. Boom. And the next one, anyone else?
G.
Okay, that it's 48. Yes, I need another volunteer to respond to the next one. This is Miss Pamela. Anyone else?
E, risk E.
Yes, let me check. 28. Yes. Okay. Miss Larissa, Mr. George. Anyone else? Next one. After E will be
Risk H.
H. Let me check. H is 24. Yes, H. And what happened with the next two?
They're the same, so they're
Okay.
interchangeable.
Exactly. So you can put either or cualquiera, which one? B and C. So you can put B and C or C on B and B. That's the same. So what does Dallas say? This is a qualitative risk analysis, and I am prioritizing the list of risks based on what? Based on impact and probability and the risk score. This is a ranking. I'm doing like a reorganizing my list, meaning that I need to pay attention to this one. My goodness, D and G. Then if you have time during the week, you can check those 1, 2, 3, 4, and A and F, you can just put it on the watch list. Just put it aside. You don't have time for those. So that's it. That is the process number 3. And we're almost ready for the break coming up in 5 minutes. So this is the final matrix. Beautiful. You see D. You see that you put it here manually. D, G, E, H, B. So here it's the final list. D, G, E, H, B, C. Those are the scores. This is the impact. This is the probability. And that's it. That's it. This is another like a joke, como un chiste, because I'm risk management. It's so professional. Project management, PMP, CAP. But now let me check something in Google. And remember, I was looking for something, another type of example, more beautiful and easy. So this is very old, this example. It's baking cookies. So, number 1, you need to speak with the baker, the expert, la persona que está actually baking cookies on the kitchen. So, hello, Mr. Manuel. Can you let me know what are the possible events when you're baking cookies? So he's going to say, okay, let's say, we can forget the sugar, we can burn the cookies, the dough not mix thoroughly. This is it's a risk. And another event, it could be, you can break the cookies when removed from the trays of the oven. So you see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 possible events. Remember that you need 3 things. You need to analyze now the probability. This is the event. Now you need the probability and the impact. So who's going to provide the probability? Anyone? If you're speaking with the baker, the expert, who's supposed to give you these inputs? Anyone? Who? Anyone? Any volunteer? Let me know. Don't leave me alone. Me dejen sola. Who is supposed to give you the numbers, probability? Remember, this is subjective. It's subjective, absolutely. From 0 to 1. From 0 to 1, the probability is 0.02. Anyone? Let me see the chat. Oh, you don't. Number 2.
Wait, what's the question?
The question is, you are analyzing the baking cookies events, the possibilities, all the events, and you're speaking with the expert. The expert, it's the baker, el cocinero, el que está haciendo la galletica, the baker. He's providing the possible events because you are not supposed to know everything in project management. That's why you have a cross-functional team. Are you guys here? I'm speaking with this expert, and I'm asking you guys, who is going to give me the details of this type of event? He's
The baker,
providing
right?
The
Ex-
baker.
Exactly. It's not you. So there's no excuses for me. Okay, listen, I'm going to be your project manager, but don't tell me anything about risk management. I don't like that. I hate that. It's not you, baby. It's your team. They're going to provide the inputs. So I'm telling you, no te asustes. Don't be scared. This is another topic in project management. This type of topic, it could make a difference. Because believe me, I know I don't like risk management. This is all probability, too ugly. Not at all. This is a mindset. This is a philosophy to take into consideration possible events. This is something that is going to give you value in the marketplace if you know how to deal with risks. So in yellow color here is probability impact matrix, boom, boom, boom. To calculate, you can calculate numbers, contingency reserve, using this type of numbers, expected monetary value. So one more question and we finish. We're ready for the break. One more question. If you verify the score, remember the score, this number? What will be the most important event here based on the score? Remember that I gave you the previous one exercise? Which one will be the number one here? Just to prioritize.
Break when removed from sheet.
Yes, that will be the number one. And number two will be?
To burn the cookies, right?
Yes, number two. Number three?
Dough not mixed thoroughly.
Yes. And number four will be
Forget the sugar.
forget the sugar. So what does that say? I am prioritizing and reorganizing the list based on the impact and on probability. That it's the name of that process of organizing this list. It's performing, we are doing this, performing a qualitative risk analysis. So having said that, I'm going to give you 10 minutes break. And are you guys ready for the break? Put in the chat number 5. Okay, listen, no questions. This is clear. You can continue. I'm ready for the break. Number 5. Perfect. Thank you so much. Let me give you 10 minutes right now. I see you then. Okay, before the break, we're talking about that the process number 3 in risk management is perform qualitative risk analysis, and it's just identify the risk events, provide for each one of those events, provide the risk, the risk name, the probability, and the impact. So the objective of this process is to organize and prioritize the list of risks based on when you multiply probability by the impact, you're going to get a score here. So you're going to use this number to organize and prioritize the list. That is a qualitative risk analysis. Now, the process number 5, it's when you know everything about each one of the events, the risks, you know the name, you know the probability, you know the impact, you know the possibility, you know who is the expert, something happened, who's gonna resolve the problem. So you have everything in your risk register. Now you need to plan what to do. So if this is the risk register like this, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, this is the risk event, plan, this is a list, probability, impact, score. Now, those are the responses. We are doing now the responses. So we need to be ready just in case something happened. So this is the response. We need to plan the responses. In this column, you're going to put the strategy, what to do. If this event happened, what can I do? This is the action, the contingency, right? The response, the action, the strategy. So when you see planning risk responses, is about the process of determining how to, remember, how to enhance the positive risks in traditional, remember, and how to reduce the negative risks. So the positive risks are opportunities. Remember that name for the exam. Positive opportunities, negative threats, and how to reduce threats. The PMI is recommending all the time to you and me, the project managers, to focus on the positive risks, to increase probability of the positive risks, and just transfer the negative risks to another third-party company. That is PMI mentality. So addresses the risks by their priority and inserting resources and activities into the budget, schedule, and project management plan as needed. So these actions here, the responses, you need to get the money, get the time, get the approval, get everything here and put it in the plan, in the project management plan, as just in case everything is here, the contingency actions. So having said that, we don't need to create the strategies because the PMI already did. They said that we have a couple of strategies for the negative risks. So they said, if you have a threat, you can either, you have 3 options here. You can avoid the event. You can transfer the event to a third-party company and buy for a premium insurance, or you can mitigate the risks. So for the negative risks, we have 3 strategies. Number 1, avoid. Number 2, transfer. Number 3, mitigate. Those are for the negative risks. Let me give you an example of avoid. Avoid, it's when you say, no, I'm not going to take the risk. I'm going to, I'm going to change my plan. So change the plan, improve project communications, decide not to perform the project. So you see, let me avoid. Let me say, no, I'm not going to do this. Let me improve my project communication. I'm going to tell them, I'm sorry, I need to just remove that action from my plan. Number 2, another example, so when you transfer a negative risks, you said, okay, third-party company, insurance company, let me pay for the monthly premium, all right. Or today we're going to see this type of contract, or just create the low-risk contracts with your vendors, which is fixed price contract, or you transfer the risk when you hire an expert that, okay, if this happening, you are the responsible for that. So just to let you know, from the very beginning, when you hire an expert, those are transferred. Mitigation, what is that? Mitigation is when you reduce the probability or reduce the impact. So this is another strategy to respond to a negative risk. Example, lower probability and impact of threat. This is the negative event. You can build redundancy. What is that? Okay, redundancy is when you have, for example, in infrastructure in technologies, you know that we have a couple of servers or computers doing something similar in the system. So when you build a redundancy, it's you put in two servers doing the same work at the same time. Just in case you have a problem in one of those servers, immediately you have the redundancy plan in place, like contingency. Or another mitigation, it could be use more reliable methodologies. Let me just make sure, let me mitigate just in case. Let me put something with more quality, more reliable equipment. So what is this, Lisette? This is we are planning the risk responses, and we are using 3 different strategies for negative risks. Another name for negative risks is threat, amenazas in Spanish, amenazas. All right. For positive risks, here in green color, another name for positive, it's opportunities, positive. So you can exploit the risk. You can share the good thing. That is a good news, absolutely. Positive, good news. Or you can enhance the opportunity. Some of the examples for exploiting will be assign talented resources to project to put the better team in that more valuable sales actions. We need to sell this in the market in the front of the lobby. So I'm going to put my best seller in my company so that it's exploiting. It's optimizing the probability. It's just maximizing the benefits. So it's giving more emphasis to project. Another strategy is sharing. When you share something good, if you don't have the capability, okay, let me ask my partner, hey, can you come here? We have a huge purchase order here. That is share the opportunity. It's allocate partial ownership to a third party or create a partnership like joint venture. Those are examples. So for the exam, you don't need to know the example, but you need to understand the concept. And last but not least, enhancing something good. It's about increasing one more time and identify and maximize key drivers. It's the same idea, and add more resources. And there will be a couple of things that it's like a neutral, threat and opportunity. Those are the same. Sometimes you have like one type of event that it's both threat and opportunity, both. So in those cases, you can accept the threat or the opportunity, or you can escalate like research. Boom, let me ask my supervisor what to do. Those are in addition, that you can say, okay, I'm going to accept and I'm going to research just in case. All right, so let me just conclude the risk management topic and be ready because now we're going to start procurement management, and I need you to read, to pay attention, to respond a lot of questions, and be with me, more active, because today is Monday. Key takeaways on risk management. Thank you for asking. Listen, what are the key takeaways? What is the final message for this topic? Thank you. I love questions. So these are the key takeaways. Number 1, we have 7 processes in risk management: planning, identifying risk, qualitative analysis, planning responses, implementing responses, and monitoring. Those are, remember that I gave you the most relevant processes here. We didn't touch a couple of those. That's not a problem. Number 2, risk is not always negative. Threat. It could also be positive, which is an opportunity. Number 3, the strategies to respond to a negative risks are number 1, avoid. Number 2, transfer. And number 3, mitigate. Bullet number 4, the strategies to respond to positive risks are enhance, share the risk, and exploit. Okay, guys, I want you to say something, put in the chat. Okay, we are ready to transition to the next topic. We are ready. I'm ready for that. Next topic, let's say, yes, maybe we can finish early today if we move forward right now. So let me stop sharing. And I'm going to open procurement management. And thank God we have an expert here in legal, contracts, and those type of documents that to me, this topic is not friendly at all. I'm sorry. But because I'm not familiar with those, a lot of names, you will see procurement management. I don't want to, no te quiero asustar. How do you say that, George, in English? No te quiero asustar.
I don't want to scare you.
I don't want to scare you. Yes, I don't want to scare you, but procurement to me, it was very difficult to understand those names and documents and terminologies. That was my case when I was taking the exam. But for you you'll be fine in procurement management. So let me share my screen. Pam, pam, pam. And I'm going to share my screen right now. Thank God we have Miss Larissa here, and she will be my helper today because you will see, Miss Larissa, that to you this will be very easy reading. All right. Any volunteer, let me know if you can see procurement management. Anyone?
I see it.
Okay, great. Now I want you to be here, please. I'm going to ask you, please help me reading because it's too many names. You will see. Okay, I'm going to introduce this topic with the best attitude, la mejor actitud, very positive. Talking about something sad that happened to me, to my family. And I remember it was like 15 years ago. I don't remember exactly, but my son was like 14, 15 years old. I'm not 100% sure, but he said, Mommy, I received this invitation to participate in this casting. This is about the ABC Make Me a Star casting initiative. And if we win this, the first place is going to get like a contract, blah, blah, blah. It was a lot of, he was excited. I said, okay, whatever. I didn't pay attention. I remember that the first time. So when he came the second time and he said, Mommy, they select just like 400 out of 7,000. I don't remember the numbers, but a lot of people participating. And he said, Mommy, now they need that we need to send a video. 1 minute, 30 seconds. I don't remember the details. The thing is that at the end of the day, he was selected as the last 4. Mr. George, correct me if I am wrong. 4 finalists. Yes or not?
Yeah.
So my son was selected as part of the 4 finalists. 3 girls. I remember one girl from New Jersey, another one from Fort Lauderdale, boom, boom, boom. And here my son. And I remember that the way it was voting using Facebook, only Facebook, I remember. We didn't have Instagram, not at all, only Facebook. But this is what happened. We were so engaged as a family, helping my son to win this contest. And I remember that my husband, George, mi esposo, the father of my son, he took the picture of my son for TV channels in Dominican Republic. Who was announcing, this is my son, and we want you to vote for my son. This is the only Dominican in the list. And I remember that they sent me. I was responsible to read the contract. That was my mistake. Why? Because I didn't know that for procurement management, you need help. If you are not an expert, you will need to make a decision to engage the expert team of your organization. Never said, okay, I'm going to read the contract, I'm going to analyze, I'm going to negotiate. No, you need an expert. And that I want Miss Larissa let me know it is because you don't understand the terminology. So the United States law, it's too complicated. A lot of terminology. This is a complicated task. So my mistake, it was no, I don't have time for that. I'm not going to read this 45 pages and I'm going to sign the contract and that's it. My mistake. So having said that, my other son, Fausto, was using a platform or a website that was not allowed. So I didn't read that on the rules. George, correct me if I am wrong. So because of that, they call me. Remember that we were working hard. We're doing t-shirts in high school. Vote for me, vote for me. I remember that it was a beautiful project. Everybody was excited. George, just voting. And the day before the last the selection, before the last day, that was Monday, and they called me Sunday night. I never forget that moment. When they called me to say, hey, are you Miss Lisette, the mother of this person? I said, yes. We have a really bad news. He has been disqualified because you are using a website that is not allowed. And that was part of the contract. So I was crying. George was crying. My husband, everybody was crying in the family. Why? Because we didn't take the time to get an expert to analyze the rules of this business. So that is a very sad news. However, at the end of the class, I'm going to share with you what happened after that, because something good happened. Everything happens for a purpose. So this is not the end. This is just the beginning of the career of my son. So having said that, this is the introduction that I wanted to do with you because it's something interesting. I do this on FIU, Miami-Dade College, everywhere, putting this introduction because believe me, procurement, it's very complicated. Miss Larissa, put any comments in the chat. Do you think that we need an expert in order to make sure we understand negotiation in the United States? Is that yes? Any comment, Miss Larissa? Help?
Yes, I think that law is a completely different language. So you need to, like, it's something that you need to learn. So having an expert is highly advised.
Yes, absolutely. So at the end of this chapter, we'll be talking about the processes in procurement. We are going to understand, not 100%, but we're going to have an idea about the contracts and source of selection, how to select the best or the better vendor in project management. Also, we'll be talking about identifying the key concepts and tailoring considerations for procurement management, including trends and emerging practices. So I want you to be ready because I need help. I need help. I'm not going to ask team number one. I'm going to ask anyone. Let me just check my list of participants. In procurement management, we have 3 processes. Thank God it's not too many. Yay, only 3. Number 1, planning procurement. Number 2, executing procurement, which is conducting the procurements. And number 3, controlling procurements. So now I need help. I'm going to ask Mr. George if you can read the summary of that page, everything. If you can do that for me, Mr. George.
Yeah. The procurement process, planning, plan, procurement management, make or buy, statement of work, type of contract, evaluation criteria, documents, RFP, RFQ, IFP. Executing, conduct procurements, bidders conference, qualified seller list, advertising, receive proposal or bids, evaluate, negotiate, award contract, controlling, control procurements, monitor performance, manage changes, process payment requests.
Thank you very much. So as you can see, we have only 3 processes: planning, conducting, and controlling. So we are going to touch a couple of those items that you can see there. So that's why I'm going to move forward, because we are going into details of each one of those. When you see PDP here, PDP, it's a proposal document package. That it's a terminology that you need to know for the exam. PDP, proposal document package. All right. So key concepts of project procurement management. I'm going to read this page, and then I'm going to ask Ms. Jules, next one, and then Ms. Pamela. So be ready, Ms. Jules and Ms. Pamela, and then Ms. Larissa. All right, key concepts in procurement management. The PMI establishes, the PMI, in order for us to pass the exam, this organization establishes that those who have authority should sign legal agreements. Nobody else. So you need to have authority. Number 2, project procurement involves agreements between 2 parties, a buyer and seller. So every single time that you are talking about procurement in project management, is about 2 parts or parties or people or persons. One is the buyer and another one is the seller. Buyer and seller, period, those 2 roles. Number 3, pay attention because this is sometimes confusing. Agreements can be, which is the same, a contract, that is an agreement. A purchase order, that is an agreement. A multi-year international construction contract, that it's an agreement. You see, those are agreements. An SLA, what does SLA say? A service level agreement. It could be a MOU. What does that say? It's a memorandum of understanding. And those terminologies, you see, I was telling you that procurement management is about names, documents, names, and terminologies. So the agreements should comply with local and national and international laws. If in your exam you don't see any specific location, you need to assume that it's U.S. law. U.S. law, United States. So it should comply with local, national, and international laws. That is an international business. If you don't see any specification for the exam, that will be United States law. All right. The name of these departments or divisions on any company, the departments or divisions that deal with procurement, let me just clear my screen. The name of the departments or divisions are purchasing department. It's the same as contracting departments, legal, purchasing, contracting. Those are the same idea in project management. Procurement department or acquisitions. What does Dallas say? Those are the same name. Purchasing, contracting, procurement, or acquisition. All right. Now I want to ask Ms. Jules, key concepts for procurement management.
The seller may be identified as a contractor, vendor, service provider, or supplier.
Continue.
Oh, the buyer may be the owner of the final product, a subcontractor, the acquiring organization, a service requester, or the purchaser.
So having said that, thank you so much, Ms. Jules. As you can see here, this is all about names and names and names. This is the same. So the seller, when you see seller, what is seller? Contractor, vendor, seller, provider, are the same. This is absolutely the same. You see that it's the challenge in this chapter. There's too many words. And the buyer, these are the names of the buyer: the owner, subcontractor, acquiring organization, service requester, purchaser. Those are the same. Okay, now I'm going to ask after Miss Jules, I think Miss Tina. Miss Tina?
Key
Can you-
trends and emerging practices, advances in tools, more advanced risk management, logistics and supply chain management, technology and stakeholder relations, trial engagements.
Thank you very much. So when you see the key trendings, this is the future. This is agility. This is innovation. These are the future of project management when you see key trendings and emerging practices. So there are a lot of new tools for construction. Thank God we are not from construction, but it's very complex environment. So when you need to track the progress of any building, like huge, like a giant building in downtown in Brickell, now they are putting a new software. It's very popular in construction, and they have like a webcam. They are using those applications. They have now, they're including cameras. So you don't need to physically go to the place. So you can observe from remotely from another place, from anywhere, you can supervise the progress. So those are some advances in tools. More advanced risk management, pay attention. This is something trending that you need to put into the contract. If you are going to work with partners and developers and international consultants, you need to split the risks into the both organizations. That is something new. So that is not traditional, that is the future. Logistic and supply chain. Oh, this is another trending. And this type of idea, it's for very complex projects that you need to put the purchase order like 3 years. 3 years. For example, in transportation system, those guys that built the turnpike, I-95, those huge investments for the government, they need to place the purchase order of those giants, like columns and stuff, huge, like 3 years in advance. What is Alice said that now this is a trending. They need to do that now in advance, like 3 years purchase order. The project is going to be ready in 5 years. I need to put the purchase order today. Technology and stakeholder relationships. This is a trending that you can have this conversation as a partnership, but without agreement. It's just understand the relationship as a external organization. And at the end of the day, you are going to have like 3 or 4 candidates for your final contract, and you are going to do trial engagements. And at the end of the day, you have 4 people like participating, developing a small portion of the solution. This is a partner number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. They are individually creating engagements, but just a trial. And you need to pay them for that progress. So at the end of the day, you are going to select the best option. So you have 4 people already, like 1 year working with them. But at the end, you don't know yet. I don't know yet if you are going to be my final partner. So you can select the best option after a couple of trial engagements. Okay, I want to know if this type of idea or conversation that I'm trying to speak slowly, can I continue with this speed of conversation or pace of conversation? Is this concept clear so far? Put number 1 in the chat. Okay, ready. Okay, Miss Tina, yes. Number 1, Miss Pamela, thank you so much, Miss Larissa. So I'm going to continue in the same mood, like, okay, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now I'm going to ask Miss Larissa and then Miss Pamela. Now, Miss Larissa, can you help me reading the tailoring considerations?
Yes. So tailoring considerations. Because each project is unique, considerations for tailoring include complexity of procurement, predictive dialer for telemarketing, physical location, shipment cost from China after COVID, example form tables for event rental business, availability of contractor, masks manufacturing during the first 3 months of COVID.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So listen to this. These are 3 examples based on my experience that I'm going to explain these 3 concepts. It's better using an example than just providing description and definitions. All right. So when you see tailoring considerations, this is that you and your team are responsible to do whatever you think it's necessary to complete your project. So you need to follow the rules of the PMI 100% because you and your team, you are free to use whatever you think it's convenient. So telling you, I want to explain this based on something that happened to me and my husband. Because each project is unique. You need to be creative. So for example, when you have very complex procurements, complexity of procurements, the example that I want to give you, it's that I was in charge in Verizon. I worked for Verizon for like 10 years, Verizon company. It was a telephone company in my country. It was Verizon. And I remember that I was in charge of selecting a predictive dialer for telemarketing. We have 500 representative rep, and we were creating a call center in that company in Verizon, call center. And I remember the cost of this equipment, predictive dialer, it was more than $1 million, $1 million. So for this specific situation, we visited Mexico, different countries. Why? Because it was very complex. So we're not supposed to make a decision like, okay, just having telephone conversations. No way. So we went to visit specific call centers in several countries. So that was a tailoring consideration for us to make the decision to visit physically those call centers in those countries. This is example number 1. We're doing a very complex procurement. Number 2, you need to keep into consideration the physical location. And I remember that after COVID, my husband said, we need to create a business, like a small business. He loves, le encanta eso. He's like a fan to create something like weird, new from scratch. He said, okay, listen, after COVID, because during COVID, there was not allowed to have meetings with a lot of people, like massive events. So the people everybody's waiting for the COVID to finish to have birthday parties, weddings, whatever. So we're going to do this. We're going to create an event rental business. So he said the best items that we need to buy right now, those are farm tables. It was a huge, beautiful design. We did it online. And I remember that the purchase order was the total cost of around $6,000, $6K. And I remember that we're very happy, waiting for the farm tables to come. However, they called my husband and said, I'm sorry, Mr. George. After COVID, China, okay, the supplier was from China. We are having a lot of issues and obstacles because we have a lot of backlog, a lot of pending stuff to be the transportation from China to the United States. So we need to do it by California, whatever. So the shipping cost was like $15,000. So can you imagine? Let me just put another color of this. The cost of the merchandise was just $6,000. And the shipping, the transportation, it was like more than the double of 6,000, so 15K. So we talked about, and we said, I'm sorry, we are not going to pay $15,000 for something that the cost is $6,000. So we make a decision, just disappear those tables. Okay, we don't need so we lost the money. So we already paid the 6,000, but that was what? We are tailoring considerations because it was a special situation after COVID. So that's the second example. And the example number 3, this is sad. I'm going to put a sad face here. But this one was something good. Something happened. And this is the thing. This is a good thing that happened to my husband. He's just inventing, like creating something. He said, like 1 year before COVID hit here in the United States, I remember that the first case of COVID was in China, like in not 2020, but in 2019. And I remember my husband said, okay, something that everybody's going to buy in 2020 are masks. So I remember that we got like 200 boxes, huge. My living room was like full of boxes. You remember that, Jorge? You remember that, Mr. George? So that was a lot of masks here. And I remember that the normal cost of each one of those boxes were $10 in CVS and Walgreens. But as soon as COVID hit United States, like January, February, March, everybody was looking for masks. And there's no masks anyway. Walmart, no more masks. CVS, sold out everywhere. So I remember that my husband put those announcements in OfferUp, in social media. And I remember that each one of these boxes, we sold the box, each box for $50. And it was a lot of people knocking the door, hey, we need masks. So that was a really good, very good business. This one was very bad, and this was very good. Those are the 3 examples of tailoring considerations that I wanted to share with you. Why? Because procurement, it's very boring, and I need to use another type of learning tools. All right, Miss Pamela, can you help me reading? Okay, before we move forward, you guys ready to continue to the next page? Put number 2 in the chat, or any questions so far? Number 2, it's okay, you can continue. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Jules, Miss Pamela. All right, Miss Pamela, can you help me reading considerations for agility?
Considerations for agile adaptive environments. In agile environments, specific sellers may be used to extend the team. Larger projects may use an adaptive approach for some deliverables and predictive approach for other parts. Master service agreement, MSA, may be used for the overall engagement.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So having said that, in agility, we can have both approaches for procurement. For some elements of the agile project, some example that I have right now in my mind, it's when you are going to install an IoE. What does that look like? Internet of Things. If you are installing like security cameras in your house, you have 2 parts in that project. Pay attention, be focused on that idea. You need to buy the devices, right? You need to buy cables, adapters, physical, and those specific activities or deliverables, you can use traditional project management. However, when you need to buy a specific software and make the configuration of the software and put the different tracking progress and just make the configuration, you need to do like software work, software. This is hardware, this is software. For the hardware, you can use predictive, and for the software, you can use agility. That is an example that I have, like very easy example. So in larger projects, you may use adaptive approaches for some deliverables, and you can use a predictive. In agile environment, remember we're talking about here developing in each one of the sprints, development of solutions. If you don't have the talent internally, you can extend the team, like using contractors or third parties or international talent externally. So that is in agile environments. And last but not least, in agility, this is the most popular type of contract. So if someone is asking, okay, listen, what is the type of contract that we need to use in agility? The name is MSA. That's it. MSA. What is that? Master Service Agreement. for the overall engagement. All right, so Miss Pamela, you already did it. Miss Jules, I'm going, Mr. George. Now I'm going to ask Miss Taina. Miss Taina, can you?
Yes. Project procurement management. Contracts. In the United States, contracts are legal documents subject to remedy in courts, binding on both parties. Binding of an agreement or a promise involving an obligation that cannot be broken.
Thank you very much. So for the exam, thank you, Ms. Taina. For the exam, this is the definition of a contract based on United States law. So for the US, contracts are legal documents subject to remedy in courts, binding on both parties. And just to clarify, binding on both parties, it's an agreement or promise involving an obligation that cannot be broken. So this is the premises. This is the foundational idea in the United States that if you don't agree something's happening, you need to go to, you need to go to court, subject to remedy in courts. Las Cortes, I hate that. But yes, that is United States law. So just to clarify for the exam, the seller, it's outside of the organization. The seller manages the effort as a project. Project manager works for the buyer organization. One more time. The project manager, you and me, we are the owner of the contracts. So we are working for the buyer organization. So just we are the ones who pay. I'm paying and hiding and getting the vendors. I'm doing the negotiations and providing the budget. It's my project, so I am the buyer. So buyer and seller, two terminologies in procurement, buyer and seller, B and S, buyer and seller. All right. So when you see planning, let me check what time is it. 8 more minutes. We're going to take the second break. Planning procurement. It's a documenting the decisions. What do we need to buy? When do we need those items? How much do we need? And how we're going to buy those items. That is about planning. Let's put it in black and white, what to do. So when you see plan procurement management, you need to take into consideration a couple of ideas. You need to evaluate the potential sellers. Oh my gosh. I remember that I was in charge of Proyecto AVE. This is another example. I love it. Proyecto AVE, Project AVE, AVE. It's in Spanish, Aulas Virtuales para la Enseñanza, which is virtual classrooms for learning. That was the translation. And that was 90 mobile home, like trailers, like a mobile classrooms with 10 computers inside and high-speed internet connection. It was a multi-millionaire como un regalo, it's donation. It was a multi-millionaire donation for the government. That was Verizon invested, Verizon invested $5 million to create 90 classrooms, mobile classrooms for the public schools, for those schools that they didn't have resources to buy computers. So that was a huge donation. And I remember that I got like 30, 40 sellers, candidates calling me every day. Yeah, Miss Lise, I know you had to make a decision. I'm here. So we need to evaluate a lot of potential sellers. We need to calculate and put in a schedule and put in black on it the timeline. And you need to take into consideration the risks. Sometimes you are going to say, no, listen, I'm not going to buy this. I'm going to make it on premises inside of the company. So two things that you need to make a decision, make or buy analysis. And of course, type of contracts. What is analysis? Some of those aspects that we need to keep into consideration when you are planning procurement in the organization. All right, let me check. Now, Miss Larissa, I want you to help me. If you agree with this definition, this is PMI. So they say that we have a couple of type of contracts, like broke families. Let me know, Larissa, if you say, no, Lisa, we have more than that. This is just for the exam. But they said in the book and the Bible that we have a couple of families of contracts. We have one family, it's fixed price, and the other family is cost reimbursable. And there's another one that is not relevant because for the exam, we need to study really good those two, fixed price or cost reimbursable. And the number 3, it's the hybrid. The name is time and material. So what is the theme here? And Miss Larissa, interrupt me if you have any comment. You say, no, let's say I don't agree. This is only for this. But in my experience, we have a lot of more things to say about contracts. But just for now, let me continue, Ms. Larissa. So what are the differences? What are the differences, let's say, between these two broad families of contracts? Who owns the risk? So those are the yellow questions for the exam. So let me make sure we have, yes, we have the difference coming up. All right. Before the, to know what is the difference, I'm going to share with you this beautiful question so we can relax. Pay attention, read the question, and put it in on the Zoom chat. I'm going to copy and paste the link so you can have for your records here. Type of contracts, that is the question. So I'm going to copy and paste. Boom. Mr. Josh, if you can try to open the link and let me know if it's working properly.
Yes, it opened up properly.
Thank you so much. Now you can take the time to read the question and provide the answer. Remember that I'm not expecting perfection. Remember the 3 types of contracts. So there is one that is not. Okay, thank you. Yay. Okay, let me give you a clue. Yes. Okay. One more feedback. Thank you. All right. All legal contractual relationships generally fall into one of the following broad categories, except. So the tricky thing is except. You need to eliminate one. Boom, except one. I told you fixed price, cost reimbursable, and time and material. So the answer, the response, it's A. All right. Okie dokie. Okay, this is the difference between the type of contract. So I want you to, after that, we're going to take the break. So risk and type of contract. I want to ask Miss Larissa if you can help me reading both columns, fixed price like this one and cost reimbursement. So fixed price, tan, 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 tan. Then cost reimbursement, tan, 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 tan. So in this line,
Yeah.
the horizontal.
So risk and type of contract, fixed price, risk assumed by the seller, cost reimbursement, risk assumed by the buyer.
Yep.
Seller legally obligated to deliver. The seller delivers the best effort. Seller could lose money. Seller guaranteed a minimum fee.
Yes.
And there are 2 types. FPI, fixed price incentives, and FFP, firm fixed price. And for the cost reimbursement, there are also 2 types, CPIF, cost plus incentive fee, and CPFF, cost plus fixed fee.
Thank you very much. So as you can see, procurement management is about names and definitions and types of contracts. FBI, FFP, CPAF, CPFF, RFP, RFQ, RF. So that's the tricky part of procurement management. So that's why I'm going to give you the 10 minutes break right now. After the break, I'm going to explain specifically in other words, what is the difference between the fixed price family versus the cost reimbursement family. Before the break, let me know if you are ready to take the break or you have any comment, any specific question before the break. So I put number nine on the chat. I need to see if you're here. Ready, 9. Thank you guys. I love it. Thank you for that. All right. It's exactly 9:01. I'm going to give you the 10 minutes break. I'll see you at 9:11. Anyone? Can you guys see my screen? Let me check. You put something in the chat. Yes, Jules. Thank you, Miss Jules. All right. Before the break, we're talking about what is the difference between fixed price contract and cost reimbursement. And I want to explain the difference using my case. I got a contract from FIU. FIU put it on the contract that the payment for my work, it's fixed. It's just 23 hours at $100 the hour, just to put a number. So that is a fixed price based on the contract. So they don't care if I am spending more than 23 hours getting ready for the class. So they are not going to pay any extra cost. Is that clear? That it's a fixed price, period. So the risk to lose is mine. I can lose money. Yes or not? Is that clear? Okay, I want you to put in the chat number 3. Yes, Lisa, I understand fixed price. We cannot change the money. They need to pay me exactly the 23 hours. Why? Because under contract, it's a fixed price. Liz said, I'm going to pay you only 23 hours, $100 per hour. So that is clear. Okay, number 3. Now, the cost reimbursement are those contracts that FIU is going to tell me. I haven't received any proposal like that, but just to provide an example. Okay, listen, we are going to pay every extra hour that you are spending to get ready and to prepare the learning material. So let me know, let's say, how much money do I need to pay you on the top of the 23 hours. So in that case, I'm going to track my hours extra time, like an addition. So that is cost reimbursement. And I'm going to put, okay, I paid my lunch. That is a cost. I paid for my transportation. I pay like $20 for Uber to go to the library, whatever it takes. You know what I mean? So that is cost, right? The foundational payment, the 23 hours plus the cost in addition. So that's it. So for the exam, this is the difference that we need to keep in mind, that for the fixed price, the seller can lose money. For the cost reimbursement, it's the buyer who's taking the risk. That's it. No more than that. Some other type of contracts, you don't need to memorize those. Fixed price incentive, that a couple of like variation that I don't want to get into details because that is a general idea. And the two big families for the exam are fixed price and cost reimbursement. That's it for now. So there's a couple of factors that I want to provide like a summary. So you can have this like a straightforward, because procurement needs too many things. I wanted to put in this like a table, very clear. So you can see that how, in what case, let's say, I'm supposed to use fixed price and when I'm supposed to use cost reimbursement. If you have the ability to describe the deliverables and the scope, it's well defined, you use fixed price. So on the risk, it's low and everything is clear, you use fixed price. However, when you don't know exactly what is the value, when the scope is vague and hard to describe, you use cost reimbursement. So you remember the predictive and adaptive? This is similar. This is like a predictive, and this is, I don't know, adaptive. When the risk is high, you use cost reimbursement. If you have the ability to calculate and estimate the cost accurately, you can use a fixed price because you know exactly how much money to put in that contract. However, when you are not, I don't know how much, when the cost estimates are difficult, you use normally cost reimbursement. So fixed price, buyers need to precisely, yes, fixed price, the buyers need to precisely specify the product or service being procured. For example, the CAPM, this class, and FIU. That is the example. All right, I'm going to stop here and I'm going to jump into the next topic because I don't want to finish this class today without presenting a beautiful example that I created for the engagement management, the stakeholder management. So let me stop sharing because this is the exciting part of today's, so we can finish early because it's Monday and I don't see too much energy in this house today. But let me just jump into the key takeaways of procurement. So we can feel like, okay, we close the topic. Okay. It's just to keep in mind a couple of key takeaways from each one of the modules. All right. Oh, there's one thing that I need to explain before we finish. That is a must in this class. So I need to explain some of the documents that you need to know for the exam. Yes, the bid documents. And maybe Miss Larissa, you are an expert in those, but in my case, oh my goodness, too many words, too many terminologies. All right, let me just hide this. Give me 1 second. I'm just, okay. I think we're good to go. Yeah. Give me a second. I'm just hiding a couple of pages. 1 more minute. Okay. Remember that I'm just making sure we don't finish the class today without presenting the beautiful example that I created for you guys to see in a NATA Miro board. All right, let me go back and share my screen. Mr. George, let me know, Miss Larissa, Miss Jules, if you can see my screen one more time, the previous one.
Yes.
Can you?
Yes.
All right. So pay attention because I want to close the topic telling you that when you're planning procurements, you need to create a couple of documents. That is the only tricky part of this topic for the exam. Okay, let's say what else? Bid documents. RFI. What is that? Let's say RFI is when you don't know anything about the thing that you need to buy. So you send a letter to all the manufacturing companies, and you say, hey, guys, let me know what is going on. What is that? Any news about this type of technologies? Request for information. You know nothing about that type of equipment that you are getting. So number 2, request for quotation. Now that I know, I have an idea about this device that I need to buy for my company, now I can ask for the price. How much is the cost? So request for quotation, it's asking for the cost. Miss Larissa, you agree with those terminologies? RFI, RFQ, or you have other more exotic, beautiful name for those type of documents? Miss Larissa.
I honestly never heard of those documents.
Because this is just for technologies and this type of industry.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's that project management. So RFP, now that I have the information, now I know how much is the cost. Now, please send me a proposal including the description of every single service, product, solution, reports, consult, everything. Everything is in the proposal. It's a huge document. So 3 documents for planning: RFI, RFQ, and RFP. That's it. So for the exam, another 2 documents: bid documents. Unilateral contract is a purchase order. So for the CAPM perspective, from CAPM perspective, a purchase order is a type of contract, right? Keep that in mind. So one more time, those are the bilateral documents here. RFI, RFQ, RFP for complex contracts. So having said that, those are the key takeaways of procurement. Yay, we finished. And now I will be able to present the example and finish the class for today. Key takeaways. There are 2 broad families of contract types: fixed price and cost reimbursable. Okay, Mr. George, can you help me reading the key takeaways and we finish the procurement after that?
Absolutely, I can do that. Key takeaways. There are 2 broad families of contract types: A, fixed price; B, cost reimbursable. There's also a hybrid type: time and materials. There are 2 types of bid documents: unilateral, purchase order, and bilateral, RFI, RFQ, RFP. Agreements can also be called an understanding, a contract, a subcontract, or a purchase order. A contract is a legal relationship subject to remedy in the courts. The 3 project procurement processes are plan procurement, conduct procurement, and control procurement.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now I want to make this announcement. It's that we are going to finish early today because I want to just to introduce stakeholders, and then I'm going to give you the example. That's it. So I'm going to put an assignment for the next week because I'll be traveling, to complete your projects, and also I would like you to go to the classroom and complete and respond to all the questions of this chapter, the stakeholder management. So you can read from the PowerPoint, the answers and the responses and the questions. So you can click on the link and complete the practice exams. It's only like 5 or 6 questions. That will be, please, I'm going to ask you that because today we're not going to touch that information, just like a 10%. All right, I'm going to share with you. Believe me, I need only 10 more minutes for you guys. Your attention, please.
Can you repeat that last thing you said?
Okay, I'm going to give you a assignment for this Friday because I'll be traveling. Remember that we don't have class in person. So I'm going to ask you for 2 things. Number 1, if you can finish the project, and you can finish and send me by email. I told you that last week. You send me the project. And in addition to that, I'm not going to cover stakeholder management 100% today. Stakeholder management, this presentation, I want you to open this presentation, which is posted on the classroom. Don't worry, I'm going to send you like instructions. I'm going to use the group chat in WhatsApp to explain what to do. You go to the classroom and go to stakeholder management. You open the presentation like this one, the PowerPoint, and you are going to read the pages like this. Read them one by one. And then when you see the question here, the orange, you click here like this. Let me show you. You click here, boom. No, it doesn't let me because I'm using the highlighted. Oh my goodness. Okay, I need to open the link. Give me 1 second. So let me open the link. Boom. You open the link and you are going to the Stakeholders Management Practice Exam. I want you to complete the exam next week for this Friday. So remember that I'm going to track the responses. When I click here, I can see who responded and who's not. Is that okay? Is that clear? Anyways, I'm going to send you the instructions via WhatsApp chat.
Yes, it's clear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so project stakeholders, just 10 more minutes and we finish because you are going to, with responsibility, you are going to read a little bit about stakeholder management. Okay, so stakeholder management, we are here. Stakeholders management, project stakeholders. We finished procurement and we did the AI practice with Gamma today at the beginning of the class. It's in the video. If you are not able to be here on time, you can watch the video. I was explaining how to use Gamma a little bit. And now stakeholders, what is that? Stakeholder management. I'm going to go straight forward to the definition of the processes. We have 4 processes. We need to identify who the stakeholders are. Number 2, you need to engage the people because you cannot do it by yourself. You need help. Believe me, you are going to need the engagement with a lot of people. So it's not only you. Okay, is that clear? So that's why you need to plan how to engage the people, because these are the people, stakeholders. You need to manage the stakeholder engagement, and then you need to watch, control, and monitor the stakeholder engagement. So having said that, for the exam, you will see those processes. I'm not going to explain the processes right now because I want to show you the example that I created for you guys. So let me continue. This is the last, the unique page that I'm going to read. So when you're talking about stakeholders, it's about any individual or any organization that can be impactado by any objective of the project. So it's everybody. So by definition, stakeholders are individuals, groups, and organizations who may affect or be affected, ED, by a decision, activity, or outcome of a project. Example, customers, government, lobby groups, sponsors, banks or financial organizations, the media, oh my goodness, performing organization, and people in general. Those are what? Stakeholders. So stakeholders, everybody, investor, society, employees, regulator. So what is the key in order for you to engage the people? It's understanding their needs. Remember, quality, fulfilling requirements. But in this case, I want to share with you this example, something that I made when I was working for Annata, a Microsoft partner, in a part-time as a Scrum Master. I was working for that company, Annata, about for 4 months, I remember, part-time. So my team was located in Iceland. So my daily Scrum meeting every day was at 3 o'clock in the morning, Miami time. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience. So when you see agility for the stakeholders, it's all about how to communicate with them, how to create the environment for them to be on the top of everything. So adaptive teams engage with stakeholders directly. Information exchange, it's dynamic. Regular interactions, a lot of meetings, daily Scrum, sprint planning, sprint retrospective, remember that. And agile methodologies promote aggressive transparency. That's why we need to create Kanbans and a dashboard that every single team member can visualize the progress of the project. So I want to share with you this beautiful artifact, which is a Kanban that I created. It's in a Kanban, it's a radiator, including a Kanban. As a public space, I posted this dashboard in a public space so everybody can access at any time quickly. So to avoid any misalignment. So I'm going to share with you right now the example that I created. And with that, we're going to finish. Yay, finish the class today. So now I'm going to share with you this beautiful information radiador de información, information radiator that we created for Anata. Okay, guys, can you see Anata, middle board, anyone? Anyone? Can you
Yes,
see
yes, yes.
Anata? Okay, Anata is the name of the company. I was a contractor for 4 months. I was working as a Scrum Master for a couple of months, part-time. So 3 o'clock in the morning was my first meeting every day. So what is this, Lisa? This is about holders, engagement. And I did this through a information radiator. This is an example. That's something that we created for Anata. Miro board. Miro is the name of the software. Board, it's like a dashboard. So this is the example. Pay attention because it's too much information, but it's very visual. You will see how cool. First of all, Anata, it's a company born in Iceland in 2001, blah, 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 has always been a visionary and the ambition, innovation, they are developing solutions for this type of industry. Automobiles, trucks and buses and equipment industries. Anata, they are working with more than 100 countries globally. 2,000 years of combined industry knowledge, 30 nationalities employed, and channel partners about 50. That's a general information about Anata. And one thing that I want to mention before we finish, almost done, is that Anata, it's a partner with Microsoft 365. That's it. So technologies are top of technologies, these guys. So what is this? This is my team in Iceland. As you can see, I was working remotely. And when you see through the window here, a lot of windows through the glass, snowing all the time, nieve, snowing, cold, oh my goodness. And I was here in Miami with sun on the beach and said, I'm blessed, I'm jealous. All right, so what is this? This is a dashboard created to provide transparency in agility. So this is the sprint. This is the dates of the sprint. These are the invitations for the meetings, daily meetings, blah, blah, blah. This is the sprint planning outcomes. We have the backlog. We have the team capacity. We have here this how many study points we are working on. These are the risks. This is the velocity that I explained that in resource management 3 days ago. This is a sprint backlog. This is the decomposition of the elephant. Remember backlog? This is the Kanban here. Yesterday Kanban looks like this, and today it looks like this. So 2 Kanbans back to back. The sprint review, outcomes, brainstorming, results, sticky notes, beautiful. Beautiful, the dashboard in agility. And sprint retrospective, it's how we can do better here. And this is a survey about customer satisfaction internally and a couple of ground rules in this part, in this section of my Miro board. I'm going to zoom in. And now you can see better. So in this page, the previous one, it's zoom out. I'm going to zoom in little by little. For those who are making filmmakers, I'm doing a PowerPoint makers. So now sprint planning, the dates of the sprint, so the sprint goal, my team, Aether. You remember Barky, that I was something happy to Barky? This is Barky, this is Miss Elsa, Mr. Palmer, Mr. Aether, and this is me, Miss Lisette. This is the link from the dashboard, and these are the team capacity. This is the backlog. Remember the elephant, decomposing into more manageable elements. Those are the deliverables. So each one of those sticky notes that you see here, they have a lot of information inside, right? So this is just for the example. Those are the meetings. This is the velocity. This is the burn down chart that I explained in resource management. These 2 are 2 Kaizens to improve continuously. One more time, the Kanban one here. This is a Kanban board, and this is another one, Kanban. So 2 views, yesterday and today. Here it's what is in progress. You see more than 3 columns. That is a special Kanban. Let me zoom in one more time. Kanban one more time here. This is to do, doing, and done. Those are 2 new and active columns. Okay, let me continue. Another chart, beautiful visual representation of the engagement dashboard. So I can engage the team by providing all the information and transparency. I'm providing transparency. So everybody can have access and the link to open the board. One more time, the Kaizen actions to improve. This is the burn down chart, dashboards. And that's it. That's more things that I'm not going to explain. A lot of indicators and information, strategies, how many days left, and so on. One more time, zooming in, and this is the team happiness. Are you guys happy? Yes. Why? Efficiency, work-life. These are the results of a survey that I was doing just to make sure that the team is happy today. Are you guys happy today? Yes. If not, let me know why. So you can see here, this red color is they're not happy at all because we are not very clear on the requirements. So una carita triste, sad face here. And what else? Oh, the working agreement, the definition of done, the definition of ready. What is that? Another example. Okay, that was my humble example of an information radiator talking about stakeholder engagement for Anata dashboard. That was my example. For the next class, I want you to finish the project and just complete the exam for the stakeholder engagement. Any question before we finish? I'm giving you back like 30 minutes today. So number 5 on the chat, if you're ready to finish and say goodbye, good night, and y que me vaya bien, good trip to me. I can drive safe, pero a flight. So any comments before we finish? At least, did you like the example? Say something, and we're not recording. Let me just stop recording so you can say goodbye, Lise, que tenga un buen viaje. I'm going to